Hey everyone, this is Eric the Smoke Moran, and I am living that anime dream with Fenix D'Joan.
Hello, my darlings. This is Fenix D'Joan, and today I have the wonderful pleasure of doing this collaboration with cosplayerbloggs.com and bringing you an awesome interview with none other than the Smoke, legendary world champion wrestler, actor, TV host for Heroes of Cosplay. I mean, his list, his resume, fantastic. So, for those who don't know you, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Yes, first off, thank you so much for having me on the show. And it's really an honor because I follow your work. Also, you're an amazing cosplayer because I'm a fan of your work. So I had to put it out there from one cosplayer to another. And I love the fact that you're a Renaissance woman like I'm a Renaissance man within the world of entertainment, cosplay, and everything that surrounds that. So thank you for having me. A little bit about myself. Well, I've been cosplaying before it was called cosplay. Back in the day, like in the 80s, like in the 70s was when I had a fascination for superheroes, TV shows like Spider-Man, Speed Racer, Captain America, Incredible Hulk, shows like that, Batman especially, always got my attention. I thought, there was something about superheroes that were noble, and I wanted so badly to be part of it. I wanted to be something more than bigger than myself. My oldest brother, who was a comic book collector, had basically really pulled me into the world of comics. And to me, he was like my biggest hero. So fast forward, going to high school and elementary school, I was always that odd kid because I was an avid fan of everything that was geek. That time that was looking like when people look at me, they were like, oh my God, he's so different, he's so odd and everything else. But I didn't care. I didn't care what people thought, but I would wear different outfits. My appearance was always changing. When I got to high school, one of my good friends, it was a big, there was a show back then that came out called Miami Vice. Technically, it was one of the very first cosplays I ever did with my buddy Rob. And we had our old BMX bikes. He was Crockett, I was Tubbs. And when it's one of the few rare pictures I have that speaks in volumes. As far as the cosplay started with. Fast forward, I'm about to go to my prom. I had designed a suit that was based on DC Comics Blackhawks. That was the art done by Howard Chapin, and they had these smooth tuxedos. They were very military style-like, but they had a cool representation of the whole superhero flair with buttons and everything. So my mom was a designer, seamstress, fashion designer. I had her help me design actual replica suit that was based on the Firehawks, the tuxedos they wore. And I wore that to my senior prom. And it was a hit. So now, we're fast forwarding even some more. I'm in the Marine Corps, okay? First time doing something that was heroic, fighting for my country and everything else, which at the time when we had R&R and we had off, there were movies that were coming out where Star Trek, Dick Tracy. I always found a way to get in costumes and go to the theater. And again, there was no title for what I did. It was just the fact that I loved wearing superhero costumes or those kind of costumes that brought out the character, and I tried to be as close to those characters as possible. Now we're fast forwarding even further after the Marine Corps. And I was, a pro wrestler by now. So now I'm a pro wrestler. I'm a bigger than life character in the ring. It opened a lot of doors for me. Got me my first film appearances, TV appearances, radio appearances, because off of my wrestling persona, Smoke. And also because I had a strong resemblance to The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and he and I had similar looks, even though I'm older than Dwayne. And we've met, and he and I have interacted on a couple of different things. But because of my wrestling career, I was doing a lot of Comic-Con appearances. And throughout those Comic-Con appearances, I noticed there were people that were wearing superhero costumes. I thought that was cool. I finally got back into wearing costumes when a good friend of mine, my buddy Eric Cooper, who basically had me go out for a ride out to Baltimore Con, and to go to Baltimore Con, and the next thing I know, I'm doing Neo, I'm doing one of the characters from the Crazy 88, Kill Bill, and I'm having the time of my life. That expanded on more outfits and ideas and everything else. That expanded. So I'm doing all these things. I'm starting to do appearances, but I noticed that I was doing less appearances as a pro wrestler, but I was doing more as a pro wrestler, combining with my love for fandom of comic books and everything around it. And I think it really hit home when I wore, I did Big Apple Con in New York, and I was appearing with all these other celebrities, and I decided to debut the Rocketeer. And I remember wearing the Rocketeer, and the response I got both from the fans as well as fellow celebrities, they thought it was cool. They wanted to take pictures with me, because some of them didn't recognize me until I take off my helmet, and they're like, oh my God, it's Smoke. And so that kind of opened more doors, and the next thing I know, I'm on tour with Wizard. That went on for a couple of years. I was hosting cosplay contests and panels, and becoming more bigger than life. Because even though I love cosplay contests, I don't like competing. I love the actual art of just showing off my costumes. And I got to collaborate with some of the biggest names in cosplay, and do collaborations working with costumes and all, hosting with other great cosplayers, and meeting a sea of different cosplayers from across the United States. Fast forward a little bit more, I was then asked to become a host on Heroes of Cosplay, that latter part of the season of Heroes of Cosplay. So I'm hosting a couple of different contests, working with Yaya Han and all these other great cosplayers, and it was great, because I'm working with Ivy Doom Kitty, I'm working with Jason David Frank, Ryan, who does these great Thor cosplays. And again, it just opens so many more doors for me. And the next thing I know, I'm doing film, I'm doing TV. And then I end up becoming a cosplay director, fast forward some years later. Throughout my whole course of doing appearances and everything, I become cosplay director for Great Philadelphia Comic Con, which has become one of the most diverse cosplay events, where I have so many different cosplayers that I get to bring in from all different backgrounds, all different shapes, sizes, and colors, and be able to show the world the true world of cosplay. And between all that, doing fan films, doing TV appearances, I just finished doing Dispatches from Elsewhere from AMC. I was in 21 Bridges, Chadwick Boseman's movie. So I've been doing all these different things and having the time of my life. One of the most notable cosplays I just did recently, like a year or so, 2 years ago, I did an Orville cosplay, which was recognized by Seth MacFarlane, and he retweeted it on his Twitter page. And the next thing I know, I end up starting my own Orville series called Planetary Step, which has gotten a lot of recognition to a lot of fans in the Orville community, as well as cosplayers alone. And I have some of the biggest cosplayers as cast members for my series. So it's just been one blessing after the other. It's been one thing after the other. One of the other things I do is I do these gatherings of different cosplayers. We have them come to my house. I work with this great photographer, Serious Photo, and we have all these other cosplayers that come up and who can't afford a photographer, or who can't afford to really pay anyone. We've been doing this for almost 10 years, and we basically have them come to our house, and we do these big photo shoots. My fellow cosplayers fondly call it Smoke Con. And so it's become a tradition almost every year now. I do at least 2 or 3 times a year. So we get all these different cosplayers together, and we do these massive photo shoots. And we have the time of our lives. And it's a great way for everyone to network. It's a great way for different people to meet from other people from different backgrounds. And it's a great way for networking. So the sky's the limit. There's so much more that I have coming up and I'm doing, but give you a little highlight of what I've accomplished.
Thank you. That was a fantastic highlight. You said was so incredible and so amazing. And I love that you mentioned that everything is a blessing, your humbleness. Could you speak to cosplayers that are starting out as well as pros on the importance of being humble?
Yes. In fact, some of the panels that I've co-hosted or hosted, we talk about that. Not only do I encourage people from all different backgrounds, cosplay whoever you like. I've made statements about cosplay, and I've even created some of my own memes where I have done, I did this one picture where basically it's me and all these other different representations of Captain America. And it was one of my memes, and it says, "This is what America is all about. These are the true Captain Americans." And it's gotten so much response and went viral. We did this PSA some years back called Cosplays Colorblind. Myself, Michael Nightmaze, and a slew of other great cosplayers got together and we did this video. So one of the things that I do on different panels is talk about, to stay humble as a cosplayer. There's no such thing as cos famous, just cosplay. And wherever the winds take you, wherever the blessings take you at, allow it to flow and just see where it takes you. You never know what doors it may open. One of the things I've learned throughout my career, both as an entertainer and as a cosplayer, if you stay close to the ground and not forget where you come from, the doors are open up like water, and everything is possible. Anything is possible. And I'm living proof of that. So no one can tell me that, oh, well, if you don't stay humble, you'll still get everything you want. It doesn't work that way. This is one of the reasons why I've stayed consistent, and one of the reasons why I'm so relevant today in the cosplay realm. I'm very confident on that because of the fact that I believe strongly what I say, and I stand by it. But again, the foundation that you got to have is staying humble, not forgetting where you come from, and throwing that rope over the wall to help other people get over that wall, to help them also and inspire them to be exactly where you're at or even further. Because there's nothing great, but nothing better in the world is having someone that surpasses your ability of what you do and say they were inspired by you. Because then people will go back and look at you and be like, wow, this person's done a lot. When it comes to social media, when it comes to my cosplays, I've had people say, why doesn't more people know who you are? And why doesn't people, and I mean, I got a lot of notoriety. But one thing I've learned is I don't look at myself being famous. I'm well known. When you're famous, fame can come and go. But when you're known, that stays and lasts a lifetime. So, I mean, again, it's a humbling feeling. It's a great feeling. You know that you've done well when you're asked to be a comic book character and you're immortalized in a comic book, or your art, or someone wants to do an art piece of you and show it off, and everyone sees it for the world because they love your art. Cosplay to me is a form of art. It's bringing a comic character, it's bringing that art to life. Technically, we are all artists. We're artists in the sense that we are artists that brings two-dimensional characters to life. So that's what cosplay to me is. We're just another different level of artists. We're just a physical artists that basically show off different people's art and then our interpretation to real life. So that a lot of movies can't replicate or do, or they have to spend tons and tons of money, where we as cosplayers, we go to Home Depot or we go to all these different stores and we come with our own creativity, whether it's 3D printing, whether it's Petricura, whether it's Warbler, but we do it from our own minds. And this is where I say to a lot of people, cosplayers are artists. We're just 3D artists that brings 2D art to life in every type of format, whether it's sci-fi, horror, comic book. Hey, this is what cosplayers are all about.
Thank you. That was such a beautiful answer. I definitely agree. So 3 things to definitely take away from all the wisdom that the Smoke has shared with us. Number 1, stay humble. Number 2, remember that this is an art. This is a creative passion, and share that. You're an artist. And number 3 is not about the price. As he just mentioned, Hollywood studios spend all this money, but cosplayers, you're doing it from your own creativity. Don't worry about it. Stay within your budget. Stay humble and creative.
It doesn't matter if you get 1 like, 5 million likes, 5,000 likes. It's a matter of keeping that in perspective. Half these people that like your work, you'll never meet. As long as they like your work, that's great. But remember, never let that get so big on you that you start thinking that you're better than other cosplayers or you're better than others. Always take pride in your work, but never to a point where you overshadow your accomplishments by forgetting where you came from and then thinking less about other people around you. Because I've seen the mighty fallen from grace because they just thought they were bigger than the world of cosplay, and the next thing you know, you don't hear of them, you don't hear that much of them, and they became relevant. So that's one thing I've learned in watching the cosplay world.
I completely agree. Cos fame is not a thing. You're a cosplayer. Don't focus on the likes. In fact, the other day I had a question that came my way, and it was, what do you do when your cosplays aren't getting very many likes? I'll let you answer that one.
Well, and the other thing I realized is that the one thing is, are you happy that you did it? Are you happy that you did your cosplay? Guess what? And that's all that matters. You are your own biggest fan. So the way I look at it, when I do a cosplay, I don't do it for everyone. I don't cosplay for anyone. I cosplay for myself. I've been doing it before there was social media. To get recognized or to have a person stop to want to get a picture with you speaks in volumes. So if I only have 1 or 2 people that like my work, hey, then that's 1 or 2 people I gained. But the most important thing is that when I look in the mirror, I can say I accomplished something that people only dreamed or talked about. So never worry about how many likes you get. Focus on, when you look in the mirror, did you cosplay for everyone else or did you cosplay for yourself? If you said you cosplay for everyone else, then you're in it for the wrong reasons. But if you cosplayed because you like it and because you feel good about it, then you're doing it for the right reasons. Everything else that comes with it is extra. It's just extra accolades. But other than that, don't expect it. Just let it flow.
I agree. In fact, I'm like, yes, preach, bring it. Because I completely agree. When it comes to cosplaying, it's about the love. It's not about the fandom. It's not about the likes. All of that stuff is the superficial that comes along with it. But the most important thing is when you get into this community, realize that we're a community. It's people connecting with other people. Just like I'm so proud to have the time to have an interview with the Smoke. Likewise, I'm a huge fan of his cosplays, and we've known each other for, oh my goodness, 3 years, 4 years?
4 years.
4 years, yeah. We've been following each other and motivating each other. And when he first started with his new planetary segment that he's doing on YouTube, I was there like, yes, go for it, clapping along. So that's support. That's what this is really about. Don't focus on the likes.
And the same with Fenix. When she puts out something new, when she's doing a commercial, or when she's modeling, I'm like the first one there, like, yeah, go for it, girl, and everything else. So it goes hand in hand. And not trying to over talk you, Fenix. It's just the fact that, again, you're one of the people that inspire me. One of the people that looks at the cosplay community in a positive scope. So when I see someone like you, who's just as positive as I am, it is inspiring. It feels good to know that there's other people like me in the same mindset as me that think like I do,
I agree. And in fact, that's why this interview is so important for me. I'm just loving getting this wisdom. And a lot of times in the cosplay community, it's hard to find a role model. It's hard to find similar people because there is just so much out there. But do know that there is definitely more positivity in our community. And that's why this channel and the project with Cosplayer Blogs, we're highlighting all cosplayers. We want to show the beautiful rainbow of diversity that we have, because everybody has a unique way of presenting their cosplay. Hey darlings, I have a special video announcement for you guys. I'm having a part 2 to this video. I want to give a big thank you to the Smoke again for doing such an amazing job with this interview. The second part will come out on next Friday. Plus, I'm going to be starting a brand new video vlog series that's going to take you behind the scenes of my cosplay process for Princess Kita that was requested by Anna. Hey, big shout out. Love you, girl. For those of you who didn't know, I am a kickboxing fitness instructor, and I'm going to be showing you all of my tips, tricks, and workouts so you can see them, adapt them, and use them to help you reach your cosplay goals. And bigger news! I'll be doing Draw With Me videos for my Webtoon series. The prelude is currently out now. Go check it out! I'm so excited. With these Draw With Me videos, you'll get sneak peeks for the series that will be coming out at the end of August. Be sure to stay tuned. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful love and support. I cherish you all. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you next time. Bye, my darlings. Mwah.